Today, Time magazine publishes an exclusive interview called Inside Trump's First 100 Days. In the interview, he's quoted as saying things like, the promise to end the war in Ukraine was said in jest. Remember I made this argument to you last night? Right? That he's already cut 200 trade deals with countries around the world. Okay, great. What are they? Wouldn't they have made them without these tariffs? And he'd throw cold water on running for a third term by saying he doesn't believe in loopholes. So why did he just put out a Trump 2028 hat? I don't get it. Let's ask the man, the spirit animal of MAGA, Trump's former White House chief strategist, host of Bannon's War Room, Steve Bannon. Good to see you, sir.
Chris, thanks for having me on tonight, sir.
So first, would you like to take an axe to what I said up at the top?
Yeah, I do. I just want to, and go back, you had a lot of the parts. I think it's just, I'd like to reformulate just a bit. It's not the Gilded Age. You hit on it. FDR, after trying everything from 1932 to 1938, throwing it up on the wall and being experimental, it had essentially all failed. In 1938 was almost as bad as 1932. What got us out of the Great Depression was the rearmament of the nation that started in 1939 and 1940, playing off the industrial power we had. When President Trump talks about returning to be a manufacturing superpower, what he intends to do, and the MAGA movement and supporting him intends to do, is to go back to post-war America from the late 1940s all the way up to the early 1970s, when we were the dominant manufacturing superpower. And that wasn't taken by China. It was given to China because of the low-cost labor by Wall Street, by the sociopathic overlords on Wall Street, the global corporatists, and a burgeoning Silicon Valley. You just you talked about STEM and about the service industry and all the service jobs. Ask the great crew on your show, which we find fantastic. Ask them how great they feel about their prospects over the long term. That whole service industry is nothing more than a gig economy. People don't have 401ks. They don't have retirement programs like my dad had at the phone company when one foreman, and by the way, in Virginia, I went to school in Cambridge, but I'm a Virginian. One foreman in a phone company and the low-level management was able to have 5 kids go to Catholic schools with my mom that stayed home the whole time off of one salary. That is not doable in service industry. That you're kidding yourselves. This is why people have anxiety. People under 35 years old that don't have the money to put together their house, they're seeing all the great benefits of the service industry. The jobs suck. The wages suck. The benefits suck. This is why we have the model people are talking about, Chris, is the model, the basic model in this country is not sustainable because there's too much federal spending. Part of that is because companies aren't paying the type of wages because we're not manufacturing anything. And MAGA, this is why we can't go in with the meat axe and cut Medicaid, because guess what? A large proportion of working class people that vote MAGA are on Medicaid. The country has a problem, and the problem we've shifted from manufacturing, not because anybody wanted to. We were a superpower. Jobs are great. Pensions were great. We had robust families. We had family formation in the 20s. You can't do it today because these kids aren't making any money. You just talked about AI, and you talked about STEM. Chris, those jobs can be cut out by AI, or all the jobs of people under 30 entering into low-level management, low-level administration, and coding. Learn to code is a joke. The coders are going to be gone in 10 years, maybe 5 years, maybe less.
So what do you think will still be
the service industry? What's going to be here is what we're going to bring back. This is a forcing function. What Trump is saying is quite simple. We're the world's premier consumer market. If you have two choices. If you want to get access to that consumer market, you're going to have to pay a premium like you pay to get a box at a sporting event or a front row seat at a concert. You have to pay a premium. Now, to avoid that premium, you can shift your manufacturing here. Let's take automotives. We don't manufacture any cars. Even the small percentage of cars that we make,
that stuff's going to be AI and robotics also. Steve, we're in the same place. We're in the same place. We're in the same.
No, we're not.
We may differ
no,
on.
We're not. No,
hold on. We may differ on how we got here.
You just told me. Hang on. You just told me you're happy with the 10%. I'm not happy, and MAGA's not happy with the 10%.
No, I didn't say.
I want that to be 50%.
I'm happy with it.
You're saying Paramount, Warner Brothers, all these guys. I'll talk to your crew. Every person in media works a gig economy. They're 30 days away. The middle class in this country, the people that have it best under the wealthy, they get laid off. They're 90 days away from worrying about how am I going to pay the mortgage? How am I going to send the kids to college? What am I going to do? The anxiety in this country is from the middle class down.
Steve, hey, listen, again, you're telling me what I just said. I agree with where the anxiety is. You talk about my crew, fine. The difference between now, hold on, the difference between now and then was unions giving them collective bargaining strength. It's a gig economy now because people on the right have been savaging unions for the last 25 years and catering to the wealthy while cutting their taxes.
Chris,
that's why they don't have the protection.
Chris, that's the traditional Republican Party, and that's the Wall Street Journal attacks me about raising the upper bracket, which President Trump said he thought was a great idea, but politically may be dangerous for him.
You think that Donald Trump would raise taxes on the rich?
100. He said it in the Time magazine article. That the very late Time magazine.
He said it.
Oh no, and he said it was a great idea. He said the only caveat.
Why didn't he do it in 2016?
Well, I tell you why he didn't do it in 2016. Three progressive Democrats, Gary Cohn, Steve Mnuchin, and Jared Kushner talked him out of it. We had the exact same fight. Progressive Democrats.
His son-in-law and the two guys he picked. Come on, Steve.
Hey,
come on, brother. You know better than that.
Listen, I lost that argument. We're in a different place right now. We're in a different place right now. Here's the thing: the math doesn't work unless you because what we're talking about is a massive tax cut.
He wants his tax cuts extended. He wants his tax cuts extended, including for the top.
No, in Time magazine, he said the exact opposite. He said, I think it's a good idea.
That's not the plan on the table.
Chris, it's not that we don't know what's on the table. It's being fought right now behind closed doors. Is being fought. Trump's plan is to extend the tax cuts for the middle class and the working class, plus add a massive additional tax cut. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. More union people voted for Trump than voted for Kamala Harris. He had the support. I think it was of the Teamsters, and the UAW guy just came out the other day who hates Trump. The UAW guy came out the other day. Not comparing.
Here's why, Steve. Because you're comparing him to somebody who wasn't ready for the position, who didn't have the time, who got hoodwinked by Biden. The party was a mess. Why would anybody have backed them? You know, the reason that Trump is in office right now is because the Democrats lost. These are their issues he's governing on right now. These are Democratic these are Mario Cuomo issues that he's doing.
And Mario Cuomo wouldn't recognize the Democratic Party today because they walked away from the blue-collar working class, and President Trump has remade the Republican Party into a working class and middle class party, and that's why the Wall Street Journal hates our ideas. The Democratic Party is billionaires and the credential class. The tax plan we're talking about, they would increase it to 40% for the upper bracket or people over $1 million. You had Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Joe Biden in 2021. You controlled everything. This whole tax thing that Bernie Sanders and AOC talk about didn't even get out of committee. The Democrats never raised taxes on oligarchs, never raised taxes on Wall Street, never took away carried interest. The Democratic Party is absolutely beholden to the billionaires and the oligarchs. Trump's the only person ever stood for the working class. And this massive tax cut, which the Democrats never did, to take the tax away from Social Security, take tax away from tips, take tax away from overtime for working class people, is the first time that the working class has got an additional tax cut from everybody else, and Trump's fighting for that. And today in Time magazine, there's a buried lead. He said, hey, I actually support it, but they're telling me when Bush did this in '92, it hurt his reelection. Trump, basically, the implication there is Trump's running in 2028. That's why they put the merch up. So we got great news.
He said he doesn't believe. Hold on, Steve. Steve, you spin so much, so fast. I don't know how you keep all that hair on your head. I got to be honest. Let's just take it one at a time, okay? I'm not here to defend the Democrats, okay? They suck. They deserve to be where they are right now. They gave away the flag as a party symbol. They forgot about who brung them to the dance. I'm with you on all of that, okay? Let's put them to the side because I don't give a rat's hiney about them. I'm talking about how to get to a better place, okay? When it comes to the middle class, which I hate that term, when it comes to the majority and the workers and what they're going to do, they're not going back to smelting, okay? automotive manufacturing is going in one direction, innovation, okay? The jobs of the future are STEM jobs. You have to prepare for them. So you're not going to be cutting people's taxes and investing at the same time. The tax cuts that he passed, the deal that's on the table right now, I don't care what he said to a reporter, does not have a tax increase for the rich. And if his rationale is, well, that's not politically popular, then he's not a leader.
Incorrect.
Then he's not a leader, Steve. You don't just do what's popular.
Now, this is being fought behind closed doors right now, and I'm telling you, with the massive tax cut, in addition, he's going to give the working class and the middle class. The math only works out if you actually increase taxes on the wealthy. You talked about the manufacturing.
I don't disagree with that. I'm saying he won't do it.
President Trump, I believe, will do it, and I think one of the things he talked about is he said politically it might hurt him. Politically, it's going to help him in his reelect in 2028, which he just put the merchandise up last night. Remember, you and everybody else was mocking me. We've got a whole set of we've actually got hats and tees and other swag coming for you and the crew in New York, so you can wear them proudly. When President Trump, no, it's not. Hey, where was it made? Hang on. Everything on the War Room site is made in America. I can't vouch for anything else. We just bought it and we're sending it to you. Right?
Steve, when are you going to run for office? When are you running? When are you running for office? Because you are a spinster. These are Chinese cozies. These are Chinese koozies in a Chinese hat you're showing me right now. And the president said in the interview, I don't believe in loopholes to the Constitution. So if he wants to run again, it says rewrite the rules on the bottom of that shirt. Put that shirt back up. What rules?
That's not, Chris, we have many different alternatives to make sure President Trump on the afternoon of January 2029 is the president of the United States. Many different alternatives, and we will roll those out over time. But now we see the president looks like he's very open to the idea, like he's very open to the idea of raising taxes. If we pull off, and I think we will, this increasing, not extending the tax cuts for the wealthy and setting a bracket at 40%, actually kicking it up, it will eviscerate the Democratic Party. It will eviscerate the Democratic Party.
I don't care about the party. I care about the country. Remember what Washington said to us, right? Be a country. That is all. All right? Forget about the party, Steve. They're killing us. They create advantage for you, and you're great at it, but I don't think it's getting us to a better place. But I appreciate you having the conversation with me. You're always welcome here to do it.
Chris, thank you very much, and I want to talk about later about the New Deal and how we got out of the New Deal and became a manufacturing superpower, a hegemon, and how the United States of America is going to get back there, sir.
We'll do it next week because you're going to come and join us for the town hall, which I appreciate. But don't give me that Chinese hat. Okay. Don't you give me a Chinese hat, Steve.
I want you.
Don't you give me a Chinese hat.
Hang on. You've got the hats here are 100% American made because we're not making 2028. I want to tell you something. I want you to bring that up with the president. The president's going to be on your show. I want you to bring it up. You don't like where he manufactures his swag.
Here's I can't believe I'll give it away, but here will be his answer. No. China hats? No, I'm not China hats. You're China hats. That's what his answer will be. Steve, thank you very much. I'll see you next week. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.